What's up everyone, Jeremy here from MTG headquarters, bringing you my top 10 M15 limited bombs non-Planeswalker edition. These numbers are obviously irrefutable fact, so just sit there and take it. Number 10, just kidding, honorable mentions. Here you'll find two cards that are really fun to draft, Cone of Flame and Triplicate Spirits. Extremely powerful spells. 3 1/1 flyers that can get bigger with a wide variety of spells. Cone of Flame can be an absolute bomb. It can be a finisher, or a board. It can be a mini board wipe. It can be a finisher. It's just very good. Why it's not a total bomb? Well, they're both sorcery speed, and Cone of Flame absolutely needs multiple targets. It doesn't hit everything. Sometimes you may have to hit your own creature yourself, so it's just not great in all situations. Another, outside honorable mention I probably could have mentioned here was Stormtide Leviathan. That thing hits the board, it takes over, but it's 8 mana, so I mean, it's just not hitting the board that often. Our very first in the number 10 slot is Soul of New Phyrexia. 6 mana for a 6/6 trampler, pretty good. It's also an artifact, which can be good and it can be bad, because it's one of the reasons it's lower on this list is because it's susceptible to artifact removal spells in addition to standard creature removal spells. But its 5 mana ability gives permanents. Permanents you control are indestructible till end of turn. So it's extremely powerful. Definitely would qualify as a bomb. It's just ranked this low because it doesn't do as much as some of the other souls. Speaking of other souls, on to number 9, we have Soul of Zendikar. We have a 6/6 creature with reach, but the reason it slightly outclasses Soul of New Phyrexia, I believe, in limited, is the fact that oftentimes boards can stall, and what this does is it gives you a way to flood the board no matter what. As long as it's on the battlefield, you can pump out 3/3 beast creatures and eventually overtake your opponent. Number 8, Indulgent Tormentor. Everyone knows this card from pre-release, and obviously it's just a fun card. It gives your opponent 3 bad decisions. They either let you draw a card, sack a creature, or pay 3 life. The reason it's only number 8 is because it dies to an absolute ton of removal. Plummet, Lightning Strike, Cone of Flame, Ulcerate, just a ton of things kill this with that 3 toughness. So while it is great and it can take over a game, it is also very susceptible to a lot of even low-level removal spells. Number 7, Spectra Ward. Much like a very popular enchantment in RTR block was Holy Mantle, this gives any creature +2/+2. Basically, it's unblockable and it's protection from all colors. So they can't be blocked. It can block things, bigger than it. It just makes your creature an absolute pain to deal with. And it can just take over the game. It can take a 2/2 or a 3/2 creature up to like a 5 damage clock, because you got 3-4 attacks, you're just dead. So Spectra Ward is unbelievable. Number 6 is one of my all-time favorites, and you might not see it coming, but we've got Polymorphous Jest. This is an absolute bomb. It's led to many hilarious blowouts, turning all their creatures into 1/1 powers and toughness. This is why I fought kind of with Aether Spouts about this, because I didn't know, Aether Spouts can kick them back to the library, but if you have creatures out, this card just, you block all their little 1/1s and then you kill off all their bombs. So I know this one might be a little suspect, but I assure you it's extremely powerful. On to number 5, Nixilis Unshackled. 4/4 flying trample. The 4 toughness is what really puts it in the top 5. It also has, whenever an opponent searches his or her library, that player sacrifices a creature and loses 10 life. Whenever any creature dies, it gets a 1/1 counter on it. So even if they can chump block it, you're still getting damage through. If they're chump blocking, it's getting bigger. If you have removal spells and you wait and you cast them once Nixilis is out, it gets bigger. It gets extremely difficult to deal with. There's Flesh to Dust, there's Plummet, there's very little removal that actually takes care of it. And when it hits a table, it wins you the game. On to number 4. one of my all-time favorite souls, Soul of Chandalar. 6/6 first striker for 6 is pretty good overall. But what takes it to the top 5 level here is its activated ability, where for 5 mana, it deals 3 damage to target player and 3 damage to up to 1 target creature that player controls. You can use it, let's say they had something with like 8 toughness, and you're like, how am I going to get rid of this? Well, you can hit it with the activated ability, and then first strike will kill it. Or you're doming them every single turn for 3 damage, and you're picking off one of their chump blockers. It's absolutely powerful. It's a lightning bolt. It's like a double lightning bolt on a stick. I mean, I think it fully deserves a top 5 position. On to number 3, Hornet Queen. 7 mana for a 2/2 flyer. And now that 7 mana is an issue. There's really no getting around that. And the fact that it's triple green is certainly no joke. But it's a 2/2 flying death toucher that poops out 4 1/1 flying death touchers. So the reason it's so high is it's absolutely powerful. It's good if you're winning. It's a win more card, and it's a total comeback. You know, you could be completely outclassed on the board. You know, you're having an aggressive deck just running you down. You cast this thing, and they can't attack anymore unless they want to trade off. There's like Fester Gloom, which can kill off the tokens, but most people wouldn't run it, at least in game 1, so you're going to get past them. Flat out, this card just takes over the game. And on top of that, it also does there's some really cool interactions in like a green blue build, where I've actually bounced it back to my hand several times with invasive species and things like that, and bounce it back to my hand, recast it, bounce it back to my hand, recast it, Peel from Reality, you know, and you're just putting out these 1/1 flying death touchers, and it goes from amazing to amazinger. It's fully deserving of a top 3. I think it could have been 2 or 1, but it wasn't. On to number 2. Do you know what it is? Bet you didn't think I was going to say Chasm Skulker. The reason this one's so high on the list is because of all the value it can bring. Now, you can argue it could be interchangeable with Hornet Queen, or it could be changed with a different card, but you'd be wrong. Just kidding. So, 1/1 for 3 mana doesn't seem great, but every time you draw a card, it gets a token. Then, if they're able to kill it, it creates 1/1 Island Walkers for every token that was on it. So even if it's, you know, a 6/6 and they flesh to dust it, great, you killed it, but now I have 6 1/1s. And, you know, it's just an incredible card. It can get big really fast. You know, turn 3 Chasm Skulker, turn 4 Divination. What is that, a 2/2, and then 3 more. So yeah, 5/5 swinging in, or 4/4 swinging in, regardless, you know, depending on when you play it. And you can suit it up. You can, you know, absolutely take over the game with this card. And in a lot of ways, I think it plays a little like Pack Rat. Maybe you don't want to play it right on turn 3. But it's like one of those things that once it hits the board, you have to deal with it. Now, there are lots of ways to deal with it. You can bounce it back to their hand. You can, using Crust, and just tap it. But I still think this card is one of the most annoying to deal with if you don't have removal on board. And I think it's fully deserving of the number 2 spot on my list. On to number 1. I bet you probably know what it is, but let's go there anyway. Soul of Theros. 6 mana, 6/6 with Vigilance. Absolutely unbelievable. But first, its activated ability. Creatures you control get +2/+2 and gain first strike and lifelink till end of turn. So you play this thing out on turn 6, turn 7. You already have maybe 3 or 4 creatures out. Maybe you cast a Triplicate Spirits on turn 3 and you have like 5 creatures out. Now they all have +2/+2 first strike and lifelink. It's an extremely powerful ability. It can take over the game. I mean, there's not much else you can say about it. This card can win several ways. So it either gets your creatures over the hump, it gains you so much life that you just out of reach, or it flat out kills them because it's still an 8/8 Vigilance first strike lifelink attacking. And even if it's in the graveyard, its final exile ability, like its final gasp, is still more relevant, I think, than all the other Souls abilities, in that it still can affect your entire fleet. So it gets killed, great. You build up your army, you wait, and then you activate it one more time and you alpha strike them, and you just flat out win the game. So that's my thoughts on the top 10 M15 limited bombs. And as you know, I'm just kidding. I would love to hear your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you like this video and you're new to the channel, please give us a try by subscribing so you get notified every time I upload new videos. I'm trying to bring more diverse content, so I'm doing all sorts of different things. So you guys let me know how you like it. And we'll talk to you again real soon. I really hope you enjoyed the video. And if you haven't already, check out some of our most popular playlists, from MTG vlogs, sick gameplay videos, new product breaks, and some insane vintage openings. I upload 3 to 4 new Magic the Gathering videos every week, so if you haven't already, please take a moment to crush that subscribe button to join one of the fastest growing Magic the Gathering channels on YouTube. Talk to you later.